first biggest show was in Netherlands. Okay, as for Katlehong started liking piano after every hood. I first met Ukabza. Ukabza was doing like a tribal house.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of what I call On the Record with the Kruk in collaboration with Zkhiphani. On today's episode, we've got the Amapiano pioneers, the guys that started in the sound that is causing global damage, MFR Souls. What's up, gents?
Oh, yeah, welcome.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Looking fresh.
Thank you for coming here. I know you guys slept at 7, trying to push the piano movement.
Yeah.
So, we all know where you guys are now, you know, but a lot of people don't know where it started in terms of who MFR Souls are, and how you guys met. I mean, I know because I've been following your journey for many years that my hero was a soccer player, of course my guy is Kota, but where did you guys like meet and like start like wanting to do music, and when did the music bug catch you guys?
Okay, for me personally, I started being a DJ first around 2008.
Okay.
I was playing soccer then. I was a DJ and a soccer player.
Yeah.
So then I fell into production around 2010.
Yeah.
I used to listen to DJ Clock, Begs and Terry's,
the
Layabouts. So we met at a gig around 2010.
Yeah.
He was playing after me, so I decided to chill and listen to his set.
Okay.
Only to find out we play the similar music.
Okay.
Then we lost contact for like a year.
Yeah.
Met again a year later, then he was a producer, I was also a producer.
Yeah.
Did the similar sound, then we decided to collaborate.
So you guys essentially come from like a deep house kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Vibe. Why not pursue deep house fully and like start dabbling into what we know now as a piano?
Because we wanted a different feel. We wanted something that we can say it's South African, you understand?
Yeah.
We wanted a different sound because we took a lot of sounds from Kwaito, deep house, tribal house, and decided to make it one. Okay. Yeah.
And then, so ipiano started ngama remix.
Yeah, definitely. So we used to remix ingoma zama vocals Kwaito, but nge solo.
Yeah.
So instead of using the vocals, we'd use the solo to follow the vocal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we gained the attention from other people.
Okay. And then was so ngicala ngalawo masolo, and what do you think what would you say was the first song that like you guys had put out that basically got you guys this attention?
Yeah, I think that was one of the first songs people recognized, you understand?
Yeah.
Check Knife.
Check Knife, yes.
Yeah, Check Knife, you know. I think from Check Knife, it just led to, you know, a few remixes, you understand?
Yeah.
But the people that actually understood the music, like, you know, the hardcore guys, you understand?
Yeah.
You know, even the bowlers, there's this sound, man, you call, man,
yeah.
The Amapiano, but it wasn't yet called Amapiano. But they used to classify it as Amapiano because of you can just take an old Kwaito song and just do the chorus of an old Kwaito beat into that beat, and then ngama soul, you understand? So by business with Amapiano, and then it also led to Ama mixtapes, you know. I also used to do Ama 45 mixtapes, you understand?
Yes.
So yeah, I understand. Even when I play, I want to expect this 45 thing. I want so when touching on my deep house. Yeah, but at that time, it's still the slow tempo mixed with our production. So, then say what different kanjalo, you know, the music led kanjalo, and then, you know, my musical experience.
Yes, which is how I caught wind of you guys.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's always been like this chat with you who started Amapiano. I mean, I can put my head on the block today and say you guys are the pioneers, you know, because
Definitely.
I've been following this story for a very long time. I have spoken to Abustuki, I've spoken to Abokaba Kanel, you know what I mean, and it's basically pointing back to how you guys helped those early guys start shaping the sound of piano.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, the sound of piano was influenced by other guys that don't make piano today, you know.
Yeah.
We can talk about about Ladi Audio Soul. We can talk about maybe about about China music, you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of the Limpopo guys. Which other guys do you guys want to put like a bit of light on that kind of shaped how you guys started producing music during your early days?
For me, I'd personally say Ubegs and Terries, because if you can listen to sound like Begs and Terries during Zkhiphani,
Yeah.
we use the same elements that you used before. About DJ Clock, I would say about Leo as well.
Yes.
About Cool Affair.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a mixture of a lot of producers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So piano is nothing new under the sun. It was just an evolution of what was happening at that time.
I'd say it's new.
Okay.
It's new because with piano, there are no rules.
Okay.
Yeah, because with deep house, maybe you have to do a chord in a certain way, bass, melee sound, and a kick. In piano, you just do, like, you do music. There's no a rule yokuthi kumele uyenze kanje, you
Yeah.
understand? Sithatha sound ye-hip hop, uyayifaka na piano.
Yeah.
As long as it has sense, you understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's different from other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So piano will move from Ekatleong into a Alex, into a Soweto.
Yeah.
How was that migration? Like, who else were you speaking to during that time that was kind of doing the same sound, Alex or Ekatleho? I mean, a Soweto to be opening these doors and starting to create this ecosystem of this music.
Okay, as for Katlehong started liking piano after every hood.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because Katlehong, they're deep house fans. Like,
Yes.
They must criticize Katlehong more than anyway.
Yeah.
So Isoweto was one of the guys that started jumping on the sounds. Ngabo Stoki, Ngabo Lil O, Postocks, Ngabo Jaivan.
Yeah.
Were the people that took the sound and then Maidlala, you understand?
Yeah.
And then came Alex, then we met Abo Cabs, about Josiah. That's when everything, yeah.
Yeah. And then you speak about Abo Cabs and about Josiah, you know.
Yeah.
What kind of music were they making at the time, or how do you think ideas were able to influence each other for piano to start sounding how it did at that particular time?
Okay, when I first met Ukabza was doing like a tribal house, Afro tribal.
Yeah.
So Kabza started as a tribal
Yes,
producer.
Yeah, Afro. When I first met him.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what he did before that.
Before that, yeah.
Also, Josiah was a tribal producer.
Yes.
So we started exchanging projects.
Yeah.
Exchange our projects before we went into studio.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they got to understand the new sound and started adjusting.
Yeah.
Because the first guy I would say change was Ukabza, not Josiah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when do you guys think the light at the end of the tunnel like started happening? Like, what's that one moment where you guys were like, yes, let's be serious, not dating as each other? Was it around Amapiano Volume 1 or was it gigs, or was it, you know, like what was it?
It was a lot of things.
Okay.
It was you, piano hour, YFM.
Yeah, Players Club.
Players Club, yeah.
Yes,
and
yeah.
also Team White played a huge role.
Yeah.
Magas approach, we were like, ish, we need to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because I think one of our first songs to blow up House Africa was My Reflection.
Yes.
Which was played by Christos Novinita Vince. You should understand, Uti.
Yeah.
After those guys play your song, we were like, I know we have something.
So Christos Novinita Vinci played an MFR Souls song and made it big.
My Reflection.
Early days.
It was kind of like, I'm not sure it was be a good deep house.
Yes.
So it was kind of like a deep house feel. So yeah.
So why do you think the deep house circle still like looks down on a piano? Okay, if a piano is so deeply rooted into deep house.
Are we talking current?
Yeah.
Are you saying
Currently?
Yeah, I mean, back when it started, and still now. I mean,
Yeah.
I think now, yes, vulega because a lot of piano guys are starting to get booked in deep house gigs.
Yes.
Because piano guys are so well versed in terms of music.
Yeah,
Because they come from different places, they're able to play vinyl. I mean, Abo Kabza and Abo Stoki,
Yeah.
you know, and just in terms of musicality, you know.
Yeah.
But there's still that thing in piano, which like it's because it's like so homegrown. it's not like the actual thing. I don't know what else they're looking for in the music. What do you think that is?
Well, I don't know, but I hear what you're saying. But just in curiosity, like generally, I mean, I just personally feel that okay, the deep house space is coming back, right?
Yeah.
But I just also feel that it was influenced by the piano because of, if you can listen to the recent piano that we were doing now, you understand? It's more of that. You understand?
Yeah.
So eventually, when piano started to have lama subgenres, like it's obvious now there's the private school. The private school is also the private school. You know, there's the piano, the Migman piano. You understand? So it also has that deep house touch here. You understand?
Yeah.
Hence, that's why the deep house field is also coming back. You understand? Because of amachita maswangena kanje vele say it tap and clap nje same nani.
Yeah.
You understand?
And then obviously the House Africa compilation phase happens.
Yeah.
The YFM compilation phase happens. The piano's at the forefront now, you know?
Yeah.
You guys start working no Kabza no Pori, Naboshasha, you know,
Yeah.
Who Will Love You Tonight, which was a big song, you know. Probably if we do look at songs that are going to be deemed as Amapiano classics, that's like a mainstay, you know, because of what it did also globally, you know, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
But I think a side that we had never seen in MFR Souls was a Manigi Nigi, you know?
Yeah.
How important was it for you guys to also dabble into like very, very commercially viable Amapiano as the guys that actually started it?
I mean, we realized piano is growing,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people coming in. And actually, we did that song just after our accident.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, we went to studio on our crashes and stuff. You understand? We went to Major League Studios. So we didn't have the idea which I know we want to stay soul. You understand?
Yeah.
We just wanted something to rock everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys talk about that accident, man. And I think every single person has got like a bit of a dip, be it losing a radio job, be it almost like a near-death experience, and so on and so forth. How did that like impact you guys, your commitment to the music, and like just your approach to life, you know?
Yeah.
It was bad.
Is it?
Yeah, it was bad. But for me personally, I realized ukuthi asikho isikhathi, you understand? You need to do what you love and have fun with it. So I think ingchangile in terms of how I look at life, because any moment something can happen, you understand? And in everything I do, I make sure I make the most of it.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what really happened with the accident?
So what December?
Yeah.
So we got out of our homes from May 14th to December.
Yeah.
We were gigging every day until May 31,
Yo.
non-stop. So we did there was a point where we did like 2 countries and 3 provinces in one day.
Shoo.
So let's cut it, and our last gig was at
Nelspruit. I need to use
no, it was
Swaziland.
Sandton.
Oh yeah, the last gig we were heading to Taboo.
Taboo.
Yes,
Still Taboo.
Sorry.
So on our way there, we stopped at a garage, got some water, like a cooler box with amanzi. There was no alcohol. And then the last thing I remembered was me saying I'm gonna take a nap and wake up Masfika. That was the last time I remember.
Yeah.
And after that, I woke up to spina, like it was rolling, I think about 8 times.
Shoo.
And then after a few moments, Masvuga, we keep a festera like a distance, and he was still sleeping on the floor. And then my mom Vusa, he wanted to get inside the car and drive. You understand? And I mean, I was sitting like this, like my leg was literally here.
Yeah.
I broke this leg. So it was hectic.
So you go through the accident, you go through the therapy, you go through the shock, you go through the reset. What does MFR Souls come back as after your accident? I mean, obviously, nyakhuluma ngamanigi-nigi, but are you guys like, do you guys have traumas now? Like, you know? And if there's a kid that's wanting Leo life, young Makigai 8 per night in 4 different countries. Is it something that you guys recommend?
Wow.
I'd say no, because like was especially around December, people like bad driver pay. You understand?
Yeah.
For us, it was a thing of let's just get whatever we can get. You understand?
Yeah.
Not thinking good was Kawata in the long run. And for me, personally, in Kawati, because I cannot take naps in the car anymore. Like the moment if the car moves or does something, I panic. You understand?
So it becomes your trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
When first?
No,
I
don't have any personal trauma. I was asleep, man, and as you said, I almost lost memory. Well, I kind of lost memory because of I remember that being fierce pedal. I mean, I've been calling taboo, calling gig, you know. But there was a point where I slept the whole day and night, and then when I woke up, that's when it started kicking in. Oh, we got into an accident. Oh, what's going on? But you know, personally for me, I don't have any trauma, you know.
Yeah.
Because of I never experienced Lintaba Israel. I didn't hear the car spinning. I didn't hear anything. I was just out.
And Amapiano at the time was very man, like it was very like supportive. Like every artist would go to the next artist's gig.
Yeah.
Features were easy to come by, you know. Was very supportive. Did that support that we saw in the music translate into the support that you guys got when you guys got into the accident and during that dark time?
Yeah.
I mean, 80% of our industry friends were concerned about the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say we did get the support.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then just looking at Amapiano then, because obviously Nami ngalqala early from my perspective, you know, where I would get linked up to Josiah through when Josiah link up another next guy and a lot of people don't know that that's how Amapiano Hour became the thing, you know.
Yes.
What do you think is the state of the game Amapiano right now? And honestly so.
I'll be honest, I think everyone just wants to be the best and wants to be at the top, which is impossible, and that's why we just feel like everyone is going back to their corner. There's no more the unity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like if we can just come back together again, we'll be able to change the game, because no one is bigger than the game.
Yeah.
We can't be bigger than the music.
And why do you think that? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it influence? Is it?
It's everything. It's a bit of everything. It's money, influence. I mean, when someone feels like I'm at the point where I have everything I wanted, why do I need this guy? Yeah, it's something like that.
I mean, and you don't have to mention names.
Yeah.
Are the guys that you guys that helped and like got into the game that maybe won't return a verse in this day and age, or like won't do a feature, or?
Definitely there is.
Jesus.
I don't want to mention names, but there is.
Yeah, no, don't. I mean, this is a platform to basically be positive about your guys' impact and not to dim your light. So, what have you tonight come out? Amapiano now has got like a nice interest abroad, you know. Tell us about the first overseas gig that you guys got and what was the experience?
Okay, the first time we went out of the country was obviously Botswana, Swaziland.
Okay.
But our first biggest show was in Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah, when we got there, I was like, white people listen to piano like that?
Yeah.
Only to find out those people were like locked in on our set from start to finish, knowing the songs, every song.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it's growing. Even went to Dubai, like every country, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so random because of, you know, when you are playing there, they just randomly ask you a song that you never thought they'd listen to. Like, for example, like, hi, Batandwa. I'm like, Batandwa. How do you know the song?
Yeah.
You understand? And then you play Batandwa, and then you try maybe and impress them with the setting, and then they'll come back to you and be like, I'm Fetula Leila. You know, eventually they'll give you all the songs, even songs that you thought we didn't know we listened to.
Yeah.
You understand? So it was a great experience.
And there was also a time where, I mean, you guys almost black motion the piano, you know, by the introduction of almost
Almost,
keys, you know. I think that for me was probably like the highlight of like how piano can be performed.
Yeah.
Outside of like people like Abuka Mompela who had like an entire like dance entourage and. How does Moscow fit into the whole MFR Souls story and into the MFR Souls puzzle?
Okay, I'd say our first 2 albums,
Yeah.
Moscow versus Studio was helping us via chords, like the musicality of piano.
Yeah.
So I just felt like he's too much of a talent and people need to see Moscow to enter in the studio.
Yeah.
So before Moscow, we used to go no Gaba Canal
Yes.
on stage. Gaba used to play keys.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we used to go to
Yeah.
Gaba.
We used to go.
Alexandra,
Yes.
Besama Labumketeza,
Yes.
Gaba Canal.
Yeah. Gaba used to play like keys while we were DJing. So with Moscow was something, Yoguti, you done most of these songs, so let's just go perform the songs.
Yeah.
And they started taking it serious now. Wafika ngamastand keyboard.
Keyboard, yeah.
So we were just having fun with what we did in studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why do it as and when and not create like an ensemble or a live version of MFR Souls? Because it works. I mean,
Yeah.
that I think one of the most iconic Afro Nation performances was you guys, No Moscow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got this video where I see Force
Yeah.
walking around and actually dancing No Moscow. You know, which for me like was iconic because it really gave light and gave shine to the guys that like spearheaded this entire thing, trying to put the dots together, you know.
Yes.
So why not just bring in Moscow as maybe a part of MFR Souls?
For me personally, I just feel like Moscow and I has his own thing going on.
Okay.
We're still friends though. We hook up, and also it's a thing of Witty. I don't know, man. Like we've never actually
We
thought
never
about
thought
it.
about it, actually.
Yeah.
We never thought about it.
Maybe since you said it, maybe we might as.
Yeah,
as
because
well.
I mean, we can look at ensembles of Fanana Black Motion, you know.
Yeah.
It also from a performance value, you know, because I think that was the biggest thing in piano is that yes, limnandi piano, you can listen in the car, you can listen in groove, but piano for a very long time had no performance value, you know.
Yes, that's true.
Before the TikTokers and the influencers with the dancing, but I still think you know, like
To strengthen it up.
to strengthen it up, to put a highlight on the musicality of a piano, you know, and bridge the gap to from where piano came from to where the piano is now, you know. So MFR Souls, you guys drop like many projects, you know, and I know you guys now are very intentional about working with younger artists.
Definitely.
Why are you guys so intentional about doing that, and why is it like a thing for you guys right now?
No offense, I just feel like people are getting tired of the same thing, you understand?
Yeah.
You drop an album, they see a few names and be like, we know how it sounds, you understand? So also with us, it's a thing of we know where we come from.
Yeah.
We were never given a chance when we started this thing. So we know how it feels, you understand? So we decided to give the young ones the chance to have a song with MFR Souls.
Yeah.
And that's how we were able to discover Ubasi and other upcoming artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Force had to put your head on the block right now and say like, who is the next one up that is coming according to your engagements now, Nama studio session when Ungatuba?
Well, I have a my favorites kuyo nkinto.
Yeah.
Yabona. Okay, ngeke ngisho amagama bomama, but you know, I mean babhaya abafeature I'm saying abafeature besipana nabo local music, abo Shane, you know.
Yeah.
Those are guys nabo abapushayo, you understand? But I have my favorites from I'm a subgenre wonke because of maybe local music. This is what I love kuye, and then the konomunye also konting ithandayo kuyo, konomunye also konting ithandayo kuyo. But I will say with amachitela usisipana nawo, I think most of them, if not in a year, or maybe let's say if they're patient enough in the next 2 years, you know, it will be them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
And going back to the first crop of guys that were doing piano, Lu 911,
Yeah.
Bantu Elements, Calvin Fallow, you know.
Yeah.
I think it hurts me and it pains me that like those are really, really impactful names
Yeah.
that have been forgotten, you know.
Yeah.
We could also argue Abuladi Audio Soul, you know, because Abuladi were part of the first Amapiano.
Yeah.
But he's coming
True.
back though.
Is it?
Yeah, we have a few songs with him. The previous album we just dropped
Yeah.
has Ladi on it, and also this EP we're dropping, there's Ladi.
Okay.
He's worked with them too as well in his
Yes,
album.
yeah. I heard,
so
yeah.
he's
I heard the
he's
song.
coming back.
Yeah.
And with the help of the guys that started this thing with him, we are more than happy to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to my question is that what are you guys doing to almost make sure that that part of the game is not blurred, you know? Because, I mean, we can look at genres like hip hop, you know?
Yeah.
You still speak of Abu Snoop Dogg, you can still speak of Abu Rakim, you know, Abu DJ Kool Herc, you know,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth, you know. But what are you guys as like the OGs per se of the game intentionally doing to make sure that you guys aren't blurred out of the story of piano, because it's very important.
Yeah. Yo, I don't know, man. I just guess our personality, the humbleness, it's still, maybe people will never forget us because of, I won't say that, but maybe part of it is also that because of, if you check with us, you know, you've never heard anything, or it's offside, you understand? It's always the point of even though the recent guys, but very bad to Kruk, you understand? Because of they need to know, okay, I'm a Kruk in to abantu abazimindele business, but in a good way, and you know, abantu nakusasa mangathi ngiyamfonela uFoso kuma ngidinga something advice ngathi so ngoba manje game ngizwa ngathi seyangisila.
Yeah.
We can advise them. I mean, there's one guy who recent vele wangifonela khala athi mfethu ngiyabona wonke umuntu ufuna ukusebenza nami mfethu angisazi ukuthi ngiyenzeni, and ngapha yabona ama gig ngapha khona inye management efuna ungihandlela but angikho sure ngaye, you know. I was happy to advise the person, and manje ngiyambona ukuthi vele uyapush, you understand? And well, as for the guys, you know, because of what you said in tune, like Abu Lum Fetu Dala na Bakon, Abu Lukshin deep, you understand? But it's people that, you know, to be but you know, the OGs know them, you understand? I think it's just a matter of what is because I couldn't mind everybody's in their own corner now, you understand? If my masnazam buisan, right, you know, so as okay, you know. Guys, so obviously the people won't notice, but in okay, the way since okay, most of the time we are featuring these upcoming artists, but I'm afraid to lava is couldn't have spoken team climbers into Aziko Grand. Masnga years and nothing behind closed doors, okay, fun. MFR, it's your turn now, okay. Ban, it's your turn now.
Yeah.
Nina, all you're gonna see is always maybe what featuring MFR, Ban featuring MFR, for example, if we could probably try and reunite again. I know it will never be as before, because just banning, you know, everybody has their own things, everybody is running their own companies and whatnot. But mhlawumbe masingakhuluma sibe na that small group yethu nyana ukuthi okay mfethu asitropeni yabona the OGs what you understand? Let it be asenze ne Legends album nyana mfethu 15 tracks nyana whereby you understand zikhona zenzo yithi zonke, we'll just exchange projects singene studio nyana one day nyana, you understand? I think with that mfethu singavusana futhi.
Yeah, because I think it's very important. And talking about companies, I mean, as much as you guys got like a lot of things right, because you were very committed to the music and committed to the cause, you know, there's certain things that you got wrong, you know.
Definitely.
I think one of the biggest highlights, and I'll tell you why it's a highlight for me, was when you guys dropped or were about to drop your album, which is called Musical Kings now. But the first title was Music is King. You know, which got you in a bit of hot water with Rodman Plekov, you know. And what was that like? What was that period like? And what are some of the little things in his Bonile Gamini that like you could put a highlight on for Intuanes Nane to watch out for Mabangene Studio when they start working, and just to structure their careers, you know, because as we all know, umuntu angashaya ingoma namhlanje afike ku-TikTok sasa is a superstar, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's also very, very important to like put a structure in this thing very early so that we ask Guti if ngizospanisana nabo MFR, ngizospanisana no the Kruk, you know what I mean? There's certain things that need to be taken and taken account of to make sure that the business side is also right, and I've covered myself.
Okay, in regards to the Music is King's title, I just felt like at that time there were a lot of stories of who is king, who does this, who does that, you understand? So basically, we were just saying that the music is king, you understand? Not knowing that Ukhotmani trademarks everything it does, you understand? It was an issue. We had to take down the album, maybe #1.
I remember.
They had to take down the album, change the title of the album.
It was on the day of the release.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had to take down the album. Lucky enough, when we dropped it again, it went back to #1.
Yeah, but and I also feel like I think that the time of Khotmani Pela, I understand the piano as much as now. You know, I don't think if ever it had happened recently. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And then with the trademark one, you know, he's right. I mean, now we know Guti, before you do something, you need to make frequency research about you. You understand? Because of that whole musical king thing, it was, you know. But you know, me, I took it personally with was fair. You understand? At that time, I want Kanti. Now you know, it's okay. It's like what would you do? So before you can name anything, or before you can react to anything, or before you can name your album, whatnot, Google check album so you understand. So it's the same as doing a remix of a song. Your mood before you can even drop it, you have to turn on rights while you're young kid, and then while in real process, then you got to go.
And funny enough, when I trademarked the word Amapiano, it was just after that process. You know, and I think it was a learning moment for a lot of us.
Yeah,
you know, it was a learning moment for a lot of us, and I think that's the gift and the curse of being like the first guys to do this thing and spearhead a culture or spearhead a sound. You know what I mean? So, and also a big shout out for handling that situation the way that you guys did. You know, because I didn't see like a crazy back and forth, weird posts and you know, and it goes back to why I fell in love with piano, you know, and fell in love with the camaraderie of the piano, and why I find the piano at times a bit weird now, because lo seka thuka lona too short with and how, and going back to that, how would you say a relationship should be within the music game, and how important are relationships within the music game? Because all you guys are talented, you know, anyone can make a big song, you know, but at times for you to get to the next level in the relationship, you know, what kind of advice or what kind of like points can you tip out to the up and comings, you know, about relationships and making sure whether I'm on top or I'm at the bottom, but just keep your relationships clean?
I personally just feel like in whatever you do, like respect the music, and also ungaye ngokuthi mina hater or force, and you also wanna hate force for no reason. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, like just work with everyone and like make peace with everyone. Yeah.
And force?
Yeah, man. I don't know. Just be you. You know. I mean, don't do. I think just don't do music because of this is okay. Don't do music because of this is what's trending now. You understand? I think find yourself. You know, do what you love, and then abantu bazoyithanda into oyithandayo, because of obviously it comes from your heart. Obviously, I need to when you're composing a song and then people fall in love with it before they even fall in love with it, you fall in love with it first. So just I think know your place, choose your sound, you know. But at the end of the day, respect each other, respect the game. I just think being humble will also save you because of, you know, even if you're not humble, even if utakruka can take 5 years or 4 years in Akulum now, but if tomorrow was utakruki out even if I call for something,
Yeah.
you know, we want business relationship, but if I call you for something, I'll still be like, Mari,
Yeah.
let me do it for him, yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? I think just, you know, just being your own lane, but, you know, don't exclude yourself too much from whatever's happening. You
In the
understand?
game, yeah.
Yeah, because of I know. Okay, I won't say I know, but there was a point whereby, you know, exclude now very by a course.
Yeah.
You understand? And then it becomes harder for you. You understand? Because of you understand? But don't exclude yourself, you know, just and keep on working. I mean, also your music will speak for you.
Yeah.
You know.
And then talking about ukhohlwa, we've also seen Amapiano that sometimes intwana not keeping ngomishisayo, but the song becomes bigger than the artist. How were you guys able to constantly make sure that MFR Souls, MFR Souls as a brand, is able to be pound for pound with all the hot songs and the hit songs, you know? Because masinathi MFR yiyo le, abantu bayayikhumbula, you know, like they don't detach it from the music, but we've seen so many big songs become bigger than the artist, and unfortunately it doesn't translate to bookings, doesn't translate to performances, and they don't maximize on making money.
Exactly. I just feel like people get into music for fast cash.
Okay.
You understand? And with us, we don't really chase for a hit song. That's why we stay relevant in the game, because we don't chase to be number one on TikTok or whatever. I just feel like people, like you get into the studio, it becomes a hit. After that, you don't go back to the studio. For the rest of the year, which is not possible.
Yeah.
By the time you want to go back to studio, people are tired of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say in the game right now is going to be legacy MFR Souls? Amapiano.
What do you think?
The founders, pioneers, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The culture, I'd say the culture as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really think maybe we should chat, you know what I mean, share ideas, but I really think it's very important for you guys to start doing things that are a little bit outside of the music, but that speak to the music, you know?
Yeah.
Be it maybe get somebody to write a book about you guys, you know? Get somebody to do a little studio sasekasi, you know what I mean, where you let Intwana come in and because I think reason why I'm constantly, every time I've got a platform, I'm anal about bringing you guys on is that it would be a shame for you guys to be forgotten when the conversation of piano happens, you know.
Yeah.
And you guys have done so much for so many people, you know. Singababiza bonke, Mvulela Bokaba Iminyango. I mean, Ustoki used to say that Ustoki bega hlaba as a katle ungazolanda music, you know, and so on and so forth. I mean, I was watching an interview where you were talking about your relationship, your early relationship, not your sire, you know, and you guys were connectors of this thing, you know, and I think that needs to come out strongly, that needs to come out boldly, and sometimes it does not always need to come out in the music, but in the stories that are told about the music, you know.
That's true.
So maybe even a documentary about the MFR Souls, the early days, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe think about that, you know, let it be food for thought, but yeah, man, you guys need to actively work now on keeping the MFR brand alive, because in the many encounters that I've had, especially global, that's the one thing that doesn't come out, because at the point that there's a big artist with a good catalog of music, I organ, he or she can create their own narrative.
Yeah, that's true.
And sisibona sebayabhala but sonke sesiyabhekana sithi how guys, you know.
What's happening?
Yeah. But then you guys released a new album. Let's talk about the music quickly before we wrap it up.
Okay, yeah, we dropped, firstly we dropped an album last year titled From the Heart of Piano,
Yeah.
which had 16 songs.
Yeah.
So we had like 35 songs to 40 songs.
Yeah.
So instead of dropping the whole thing, we just decided to separate from side A and side B.
Okay.
So we recently just dropped side B, which has 14 songs there.
Yeah.
And we have almost the whole industry featured on the album. Yeah, man, that's what we're pushing right now.
Yeah. And just to wrap it up, with the TikTok and the quick consumption of music,
Yeah.
why is it still important for you guys to drop full-on projects?
Okay, I would say because we haven't dropped anything this year.
In a very long time,
Yeah,
okay?
and it's got to drop a month like last month. You
Yeah.
can imagine the whole year, we were still gigging though.
Yeah.
It's gonna drop next. So we just felt like people are hungry for MFR Souls, you understand?
Yeah.
I know it's not wise anymore to drop like a full body of work because people, the way they consume music now is crazy. So we just decided to drop a full project because we didn't drop anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I mean, with what's going on right now, I mean, you'll never know what people will like. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we would want to drop this song, Tina Sfila, this song, and only to find out that there's a song whereby we kept it, so a full-on project, it's nice, and not a lot of songs, like 14 songs, and then you just take that 1 hour thing and listen to all the songs. Eventually, you'll find your own favorite because of, I mean, on the album, there is Gicha, you know, there's Private School, you know,
Yeah.
there's a bit of everything. So it's just going to be up to you with Mina Tanda, you understand? I mean, I sometimes post on social media, what's your favorite song? And then I'm like, oh, I actually didn't think it was Tanda. But anyway, it is, you know? And even I was playing just now, Weekend, and a person asked me a random song from our album, didn't think that I listened to, you
Yeah.
understand? So it's like, oh, no, it's a good thing, you understand? I mean,
Yeah.
and you know, with Tina Vede, we've always wanted to release music that's going to sustain itself for the next coming 50 years, you understand? Yeah, well, so that's always been our mission. Good, as it must keep on fit. Kule album, but at least we have to have a song. Even Muntu, after 2 or 3 years, when he listens to the song, be like, wow, now this is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
You understand?
MFR Souls, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys making the time. You guys have shown me love. When I started getting into this piano thing as a mouthpiece of piano, you know, and I'm glad that after all these years, I mean, what's been like 10, 12 years now?
Yeah.
10, 12 years, you guys still do honor my interviews with me, you know what I mean? And I really think it's important that your story stays alive. Your story is constantly part of the conversation.
Yeah.
And also, one important thing, I like the fact that you guys are very intentional about working and making it easier for the next generation of piano artists, because I think that's one thing that a lot of the guys don't do as much, you know what I mean? And your story will forever be on this platform, and hope that anyone and everyone that is watching that wants to make reference of who MFR Souls is comes to On The Record and gets it here right first. My name is The Kruk. See you on the next episode.
Thank you.